Welcome to the Dice Are Bad Storytellers. This is immediately after our session 5 recording that we just did with Against the Dragon. But this is coming back to our friend Johan, who has just fallen. Friend is a strong word. Who's just fallen out of an airship, landed in the area, and then had a dream where he told his probably ex-wife pretty quickly here that he'd slept with everyone in a dream. And he wakes up the following morning. What's on Johan's mind? What's going on here?
He's angry. He's angry that he got thrown out of a plane or thrown out of a flying ship. He's also kind of angry that he knows it's his fault. So, and he knows that everything is his fault. But anyway, so yeah, for the time being, he is just going to keep walking until he can find civilization.
Okay. As you're walking, roll me a survival check to see if you can, orient yourself toward Point Rec.
Need a long rest real quick. Okay. Survival. Ooh, an 18 plus, whoops. 18 plus 1, so 19.
19, yeah. You're able to orient yourself back toward Point Rec. It's a very quiet, lonely walk as you're going through this place. As you were walking along, you feel a presence. You feel that something other than an animal is treading alongside you, probably about 10 feet back. Doesn't seem to be any hostile, but you cannot see it. And you sense it with something from Pith. You sense it with some sort of warlock power, not something natural.
I'll use detect magic.
Nearby you. Yeah.
I'll use detect magic to see if I can find it.
There's an invisibility spell on a woman, and they are nearby you.
Are you going to show yourself, or are you just going to continue to hide like a cunt?
I was just checking out that ass, but I mean, all right, whatever. She dispels herself, and this is Elizabeth Brash, a woman you've never met before, but you know that an orc was supposed to be one of the women that killed all the people on the ship. And she says, I heard your speech up there. That was quite something.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter what kind of truth you have. Apparently everybody wants to throw you out of the fucking plane anyway. Or boat.
She gets excited about that. Truth. So it is true. You do know of a weapon that can kill Pith.
No. There's no weapon that can kill Pith. You can subdue her. That's about it.
So you lied.
Wouldn't you? You're about to be thrown out of a fucking boat. Wouldn't you lie to save your hide?
Do you have your bandana over your forehead?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. That's true. So then what is your plan? Do you actually intend to subdue Pith? Because it was under my understanding we got these powers to free her or do something for her. They seem to be a gift.
I've had my powers longer than anybody else on this fucking planet. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're mine. Not hers. I can do whatever the hell I want with them. So I say, screw Pith. Let's do our own thing.
Hell yeah.
And if she becomes a problem, then we go deal with her.
So, I think I'm going to like your style a lot more than Evelyn already. Evelyn can be she likes to talk a big game, but she's pretty prissy. Before
she's
your
very
friendship,
attractive.
Yeah, she's all right.
Yeah, she's better than you.
Oh, okay. She told me you were all right, but she said that she went with them instead of me because she said she'd already ridden that pony.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe you'll change your mind after we spend some time together. Um, she says, before your friends came up and talked to us, we were planning on setting up an orgy situation, both for a couple of reasons. And it was my idea. You see, but I'm a born of Greenwater. My father was Greenwater just like you. So we probably shouldn't do anything either way. Gross kids. But the other thing with that is if either of us sleep with somebody else, they become warlocks, what seems to be a 3-day cycle. So my plan was we make an orgy trade. We get a bunch of people on there who aren't warlocks yet, make them warlocks, and then kill them for levels, kill them for power.
Or, follow me here, we don't kill them and we don't sleep with them. At least, not immediately. We build trust first, get a bunch of loyal followers, sleep with the ones that we trust the most, build up a small army, take over an island, just stay on the island.
You see, I would agree with you, but I mean, I'm a little bit stronger than you right now. I mean, we'll be honest. You're more experienced. I'm stronger. I've killed more people. I think there's a cap to this, and I think once we hit that cap, things will be different. Um, I don't know
What's the
what
other
that means.
option? The other option is I do have a rightful claim to the throne.
That's right, you do. Um, she's thinking for a little bit about that. Okay. She starts walking around. She's walking with you back toward the things. She goes, you know, she's just very, very deep in thought. I'm thinking too. Um, I want to see you succeed. And when I saw you jump off that ship, I thought your goal was to kill Pith. If that's not your goal, then what is your goal? Truly just to live on an island in peace?
I don't know what I want. I spent so much time hiding, and then my girl, wife, I guess, shows back up, and then she sleeps with some whore of a captain, and I get tossed off of a ship. I mean, just what does that say about, you know, the relationship we had? She claims to be the queen. Well, by marriage, that makes me the king. And honestly, I kind of want to ruin her.
I can understand that. Well, from what it sounded like, they're going to go wherever Pith is. So if you want to ruin her, eventually we're probably going to want to go there. But I can see the benefit of developing, and frankly, we're already well on our way. We have a small sect of followers back at Point Rec. Um, uh, there's a lot of thinking going on here. This isn't a simple plan that you guys are putting together. I'm going to say you guys get back to Point Rec, and as you're getting there, you see on the coastline about maybe 10 galleons that are all royal ships. And you can tell that this is Edward, Edward Brightlance, bringing the entire group of Old Wessex people to Point Rec to start to figure out how they're going to settle the mainland. She goes, well, that's new. You're supposed to be king, huh?
Well, I'm king, but people don't really like me. But I know who they do like. And I'm gonna turn into Karina.
She goes, oh, now me. Who should I be? What would be most convincing?
Oh, I don't know. Just
You're
some
Karina.
you could
Chiao was an emissary, right?
Chow is an emissary, you could be Sir Emery. I don't think you have the irritating persona to pull him off. No offense to you. Honestly,
No,
that should
no,
be a
that's a
compliment.
compliment. Yeah.
You could be Corvus, I suppose, the monk with the
That's easy to
hood
maintain. It's
over
a
his
spell that's
face.
easy to maintain. She casts a spell. It's a very simple disguise, so it's very easy for her to pass it off. She doesn't have to talk very much. Um, yeah, you guys are Karina and Corvus. Roll me disguise checks. You can do a couple of these. Make sure your disguise is
You
perfect.
mean deception?
Yeah. As you're doing this, she says, like, hey, we probably need to have our stories straight, or at least you do, and tell me enough that I can follow and adapt as we go.
Well, let's see. What do we know about Sir Emery?
He's a very powerful magician. I assume he can cast sending. I assume he's strong, physically fit, very wealthy. I mean, would it be as simple as saying they all died and we're the only survivors?
No, that's too easy to prove wrong. It would be better to say
Because Sir Emery was charged to guard you. If he's not dead, then why wouldn't he send to Edward and alerting him?
because he's a traitor.
The faceless mask, colors change. He goes, that he is a traitor. The
He
Justicar,
tried to kill he tried to kill me by throwing me off the ship. If you hadn't used some of your monkness, I would have died. We both would have died. And we're looking to go back now to the kingdom.
it's quite good. It's quite good.
The only problem that I foresee is Sir Edward.
it's kind of strange as you're talking to her because it's hard to see her face, but you're talking about like the king of the world. And until, 5 days ago, she was just another court person. And now she has a lot more power than she used to. And so she's adapting to the stuff as you're saying it. And he goes, yes, he has a close relationship with Karina. Are you confident that you can disguise the affectation to him?
No.
Hmm.
Don't need to, though, if he's dead.
That's right. Or worse, says, and looks to you again.
What would be worse? Disgraced?
She
Into many little pieces?
puts her
Castrated? Thrown
hand
into the
out.
ocean?
I guess we could castrate him, but not. No. It's much more subtle than that. She puts her hand up, and a door appears. Just common wood door. She pushes it open. This is the spell Demi-Plane. And she says, "I've gotten rid of at least 2 or 3 people who wanted to get me dead, and I believe that they are somewhere out there. I could retrieve them if I want, but I assume one of them have already died because it's been 3 days, no water, and we could just leave him in one of these."
Suppose that is what he deserves. He did kill me, though, once.
Well,
Let's do it your way. I like your way.
you like
I
my way?
think
Great.
if he
Very
starves to
simple.
death, that'll be a much more bitter death than just simply running into the heart. But if trapping him in a demiplane does not go according to plan, then we stab him through the heart.
Right. Well, if he is dead in this plane, we have a body to prove that he's dead, which might make it easier to
Well, I was
wrest
thinking,
control.
I
Right.
play Karina, and you play Sir Edward.
Oh, he is very
And then
quiet.
we've just infiltrated the entirety of the Empire, and no one's the wiser.
No one's the wiser.
And with two of us, we can do as many shenanigans as we like in regards to changing power and stuff like
With
that
the
sort.
full backing of the old Wessex, everything. A shadow government.
Yeah.
This will not be
Shadow
easy.
cult government.
He does have some magical defenses. People will be attempting to detect us, but you have a history of
No one
not
can
being
detect me.
detected. I suppose that's true. She's 2 levels more than you, or in Warlock at least, is a powerful person now. She's very scared by you. You can roll an insight on her, and she's going to roll deception on that.
16 plus 1, 17.
She only got a 4 plus, let me see, deception. 4 plus 3, she only got a 7. She's not thinking about betraying you. This is a girl. This is a, maybe 24, 25-year-old woman who suddenly has had power and had a lot of bitterness before in her life. She's always played this, like, let's kill the king edginess as kind of like a flirty thing. It's kind of like a thing. You're taking it real seriously, and it's kind of calling her bluff a little bit. She doesn't quite know how to respond to it. But she doesn't seem to, like, distrust you. She doesn't gonna, like, fight back or anything like that. But you can tell this is a little rich for her blood.
Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm extremely nervous. I've never overthrown a government before.
We're not overthrowing it. We're just infiltrating it.
Infiltrating it. Okay. Right. Then I shall be Corvus, and we will attempt to find Edward. Should we do more preparation? Meet back with my clan, my cults? What would you like to do?
We'll need them.
All right. You guys travel over to these bars, these seedy bars. That's where it's at. There's all hush hush and talk about all these different things. All these, like the king moving here and what that means for Point Rec and where they're going. You hear that they don't have a destination yet, so they're just kind of sitting at Point Rec eating all the food. And you go into this area, and there are about, I'm going to say 30 warlocks, all of them between level 1 to 5, just at your command.
Cool. I'm going to have them all... 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to have them all come with me, but have them be disguised as normal folk. Just not, look like themselves, just don't act like they have warlock powers.
Gotcha.
And we're going to go find Sir Edward.
All right. Wow, this is dark. You walk toward the docks. You see the Royal Galleon, the main ship. And just for brevity, you see Edward lean out over the side of the ship and goes, Sister, where is Sir Emery? Where? Guards, retrieve my sister.
Oh, it's horrible. Sir Emery, he betrayed us.
But Elizabeth has put some blood on her costume to make it look more convincing. How? Sir Emery would never. What do you mean?
It turns out all he wanted was, he wanted to marry me, and I I didn't want that. And when I refused him, he tossed me off of the ship.
I'm going to roll an insight with advantage. Just about. Okay. Because he doesn't stop his guards, but he has them come up to meet you, and he sees.
My deception roll is a 25, by the way.
You're 25. Okay. Are there people behind you?
Yeah.
Like all these. So you're kind of brought in by like this group of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And okay. And they have recognized your queenship. The people of Point Rec. You hear some warlocks unprovoked go, "Aye, aye," kind of from the behind you. He goes, "Very well, very well. Bring her onto the ship." He waves, and they all start to bring just you two onto the ship, and they'll have the other warlocks kind of stay off. But say, "We will welcome you on for an audience later to express our gratitude." Sister, what? Sir Emery betrayed you. He wanted to marry you?
Yeah, he wanted to marry me. He wanted to be king. But I mean, I can't just, whoever I marry is king. And that's a lot of responsibility for me to have.
Yes, of course. Karina, is Johan with you?
No. He hasn't been seen in a long time.
Right.
You brought me back to life, and I saw him unconscious, then he disappeared. I haven't heard from him since.
I see. Guard sees her, and you see some guards go and grab you behind your arms and hold you firm. Sees the Triton as well.
He beat a 25.
You forget they had a conversation after you left where he told you, Emery told him that Johan was with you guys. So he's not beating at 25. This clearly, yeah, I know your game's not up, but this is directly contradicting something that Sir Emery was told in game, that Edward was told. Karina, I don't distrust you. I would never distrust you, but Johan, I have seen Johan perform magics far beyond my comprehension. And just recently, not 3 days hence, Sir Emery told me that Johan had found his way to you. And I heard him in my mind when we were leaving Old Wessex. So I need you to answer truthfully. Is Johan with you? Is he with Sir Emery?
Fine. He stowed away. He came with us as a guard. We didn't know who he was until we were already underway. This ship attacked us, and then he made himself known, and he saved all of us, and then we had a fight, and it didn't end well. He admitted to being responsible for the Emperor's son's death, and when I told him that I didn't love him, he left. He stormed off somewhere in Port Rec, and it was the next morning after the other earthquake. That's when Sir Emery saw his opportunity to dispose of me, and if Corvus hadn't jumped out of the ship and used his, I don't know, what do you call it? Like slow fall or something.
He
I
nods. Yes,
If
that is
he hadn't used that, I would be nothing more than a black smear on a red smear on the ground. But he managed to save me.
I'm gonna roll an intellect check.
That is
I
a
have
natural
to.
20 on my deception. So making it
Okay.
a 30.
Edward is heartbroken. Edward just kind of looks out over Point Rec. Sister, I fear your judgment is clouded both by your condition and by your love for Johan.
I don't love him. We had this discussion.
You are not Karina. I have begged you to not love Johan these 4 years. And he appears before you, and immediately you do not love him.
Not immediately,
Put these
no.
men in put these things away in a prison. We'll deal with them later.
Um,
I'm sorry, I gotta honor that in story. This girl has done nothing but talk about how she loves Johan for like the past 4 years and refuse to disconnect
are we
from
still
that.
being bound?
The guards have you behind the back, but they aren't doing anything other than that.
Okay. The other warlocks around still?
Yeah, they are there on the boat.
Okay. I'm gonna say ready a spell. Let's make quick
Elizabeth?
work of him. Yeah. And I'm gonna cast Sickening Radiance on the bow of the ship,
Okay. What does this do?
which so I hold up my finger and I snap, and there is a greenish yellow ball of light that appears in the center of everything, and then pulses once out in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on that point, and lasts for 10 minutes, or which is when the spell ends, as long as I maintain concentration. When a creature moves into the spell's area the first time or on a turn, or starts its turn there, that creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 4d10 radiant damage, suffer 1 level of exhaustion, and emit dim greenish light in a 5-foot radius. This light makes it impossible for the creature to benefit from being invisible. The light and any levels of exhaustion caused by this spell go away when the spell ends. So basically, if you keep failing, you got 6 turns before you die.
And what's the save?
It is currently a Constitution 18 saving throw.
You see Edward fall to his knees. Almost every single person on this ship fall to their knees, exclusion to 1 or 2 people. And you're able to exclude Elizabeth from this?
No, it's everybody. So myself included.
Elizabeth fails as well. And how much damage is that? 2d10?
It is 4d10, and I'm rolling it. That is 23 radiant damage. And a level of exhaustion to everyone that failed.
Okay. Okay, you cast the spell. Sir Edward slams to his knees, but Elizabeth winces. She casts the spell and opens a door. You see everyone nearby reacting and trying to reach over to you. Edward says, I didn't know. I didn't know. You're perfect at this. But Karina loves you, and that was enough. And he says, guards, help me. And he's like struggling guards are trying to come over. This door is open next to you, between you and Edward.
Let's see. You said the door is open next to me.
Shadowy door, wooden construct.
I take Edward and I throw him through the door.
He crashes into the door. I mean, I would roll strength saves, but what's the point at this point? You throw him into the door. Elizabeth looks at, do I close it?
Yes.
She closes the door. The door disappears.
Okay. Door is gone. The guards that are still there. We're just gonna fight them.
Okay. Let's just do some like generic rolls. So I'm just gonna roll, we'll say I'll just roll like 4d20 and you can roll 6 and then we'll just see who beats each other on a total and we'll call it good from there.
They do also have to deal with sickening radiance, which is still up, by the way.
Well, in that case, if you could leave that up for the whole time, I can almost assure you almost everyone on this ship is dead.
Okay. When I see so that it's pretty much just, or that all the guards are gone, after the last one falls, I should say, I will disperse it and start trying to administer help to the warlocks that are left, as well as Elizabeth.
Okay. Let's just roll a luck check on those warlocks real quick. Elizabeth is fine. She's not done. That is a negative. That is a 1, that one on the die. I'm going to say you've killed about 10 of your own warlocks, but you have the ability to take those levels now because your spell killed them. Okay, so that's 10. But then because of the shrinking amount, you only get half of those until you're level 15. So that would
5.
put you at level 15.
Yep.
Of warlock.
Yep.
Dead, rotting bodies hit with this ray. They're sitting all over the ship. Okay, can you hear me still?
Sort of, yeah.
1 second. I've got to change some of my settings. My speakers died. My headset died.
Uh-oh.
Hello? Speak?
I can still hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, so you have killed most of the people on the ship, and Edward is in a demiplane.
Cool. I'm going to have Elizabeth disguise herself as Edward. I will disguise myself back again as Karina. The remaining warlocks, I will have disguise themselves as guards or deckhands, and we will take up the ship as though nothing has happened.
All right, as if nothing has happened. I'm good with that being this little session of what Johan does. Is there anything you'd like to state as your intent after this, or what's going on after this?
Yeah, so the goal is to go back to Old Wessex and just take command, essentially. Establish myself as the ruler, and just sort of unravel everything that they've worked for over the past time that I've been gone.
Sorry, I lost right now. Okay.
You're good.
Yeah, with that, the dark solo chapter of first chapter of Johan's truly terrible bad day continue on, and we will see what happens after we have our next session. Okay, I'm going to